Hi, I'm Emma. 3 hours ago, my sister called me crying and apologizing, not for wearing a wedding dress to my wedding 6 months ago, but for the real reason I just discovered. Because that dress wasn't just for attention, it was part of something much bigger than I ever imagined. Before we dive in, what time are you watching this and where are you from? Drop a comment below. I read every single one, because sometimes the people closest to you are the ones planning your downfall. It was supposed to be the happiest day of my life. October 15th, 2023, at Riverside Gardens in Portland, Oregon. I'd been planning this wedding for 2 years, saved every penny working double shifts at the hospital where I'm a nurse. My fiancé Jake and I had dreamed of this small, intimate ceremony with just our closest family and friends. I should have known something was wrong when my sister Sarah arrived that morning. I was in the bridal suite putting on my grandmother's pearl necklace when I heard the gasps outside. Through the window, I watched Sarah step out of her car wearing a floor-length white dress. Not off-white, not cream, wedding white. Strapless, with a sweetheart neckline and a small train. My maid of honor, Jessica, dropped her lipstick. "Emma, is that a wedding dress?" I whispered, my hands shaking as I gripped the windowsill. Sarah walked up the garden path like she was floating, that dress catching the morning sunlight. Guests were already staring, phones coming out, confused whispers spreading across the lawn. My mother, Patricia, rushed into the bridal suite, her face flushed. "Emma, honey, before you say anything, Mom, she's wearing a wedding dress to my wedding." "It's just a white dress, sweetheart. Don't let this ruin your day. You know how Sarah is. She needs attention. Just ignore it. Just ignore it." The words that had defined my relationship with my sister for 28 years. I took a deep breath, looked at myself in the mirror one more time, and made a decision. This was my day. I wasn't going to let Sarah steal it. The ceremony began at 2 p.m. I walked down that aisle in my grandmother's vintage dress, the one I'd carefully restored myself, and tried to focus on Jake's face. But I could feel the tension in the crowd. I could see the confused glances, the way people kept looking between Sarah and me. During the vows, Sarah positioned herself directly in my line of sight, adjusting her dress, touching her hair, making sure the photographer caught her in every shot. At the reception, it got worse. Sarah gave an impromptu speech without asking. She stood up during dinner, grabbed the microphone, and said, "I just want everyone to know how proud I am of my little sister, Emma. She's always been the responsible one, the one who settles. I'm so happy she found someone who appreciates that." The settles? In front of 80 people. Jake squeezed my hand under the table. My father, Robert, avoided eye contact. My mother smiled, that tight smile she reserved for social embarrassment. But the worst part came during the father-daughter dance. I was dancing with my dad when Sarah cut in. "Mind if I steal him for a moment? I have something special planned." Before I could protest, the DJ was playing There song, the one Sarah and Dad used to dance to when she won her pageants in high school. She'd somehow arranged it without telling me. I stood there, in my wedding dress, watching my sister dance with my father at my own reception while wearing a wedding dress. That night, after Jake and I got back to our hotel room, I finally broke down. We need to talk about what happened today," Jake said gently. I nodded, still in my dress, makeup smeared from crying. "Your family, they let her do that. Your mom, your dad. They all just let her wear a wedding dress to our wedding and act like you were overreacting." He was right. They had. The next morning, I called my mother. "Mom, we need to discuss what happened yesterday." "Oh, Emma, please don't be dramatic. Sarah looked beautiful. You looked beautiful. Everyone had a wonderful time. She wore a wedding dress, Mom, to my wedding. It was just a white dress. You're being jealous and petty. This is exactly why Sarah said you wouldn't handle it well." Sarah said I wouldn't handle it well, which meant they'd discussed this beforehand. "You knew?" I asked quietly. "She mentioned she'd found a dress she loved. I told her if it made her happy, she should wear it. Family should support each other." I hung up. For 3 weeks, I tried to let it go. Jake and I went on our honeymoon to Hawaii, and I posted our wedding photos carefully, cropping Sarah out of most of them, but the damage was done. Every time someone asked about the wedding, they mentioned that woman in the white dress. Then Sarah posted her own photos. She'd created an entire Instagram album called Emma's Special Day, where she was the focus of every single picture. Photos of her getting ready, her in that dress, her giving her speech, her dancing with Dad. The captions were subtle but calculated. Supporting my sister on her big day. Family means showing up in style. Some people are born to stand out. The comments were what broke me. Wait, which one got married? Are you the bride? You look amazing. Love your dress. Where did you get it? I screenshot every single comment. That night, I made a decision. I was going to find out exactly how premeditated this was. I started with Mom's texts. We shared a family plan, and I still had access to our shared cloud storage. What I found made my stomach drop. Text thread from 2 months before my wedding. Sarah. Found the perfect dress for Emma's wedding. Mom. Show me. Sarah. Photo of the white dress. Mom. Sarah, honey, that's a bit much. Sarah. Trust me, Mom. Emma needs to learn she's not the center of the universe. Mom. Your father won't like this. Sarah. Dad will be fine. Besides, Emma's always been dramatic. She'll get over it. 2 months. She'd been planning this for 2 months, but it got worse. I found another thread from 3 weeks before the wedding. Sarah. Talk to the photographer. He'll make sure to get good shots of me in the dress. Mom. You contacted Emma's photographer? Sarah. I told him I was the maid of honor and wanted to surprise Emma with some special family photos. He was so sweet about it. She'd lied to my photographer. She'd manipulated my vendor. The final thread was from the morning of the wedding. Sarah. Getting ready. This dress is perfect. Mom. Emma's going to be upset. Sarah. Let her be. After today, everyone will know who the real star of this family is. I sat in my living room, holding my phone, reading those words over and over. Who the real star of this family is. This wasn't about a dress. This was about erasing me on my own wedding day. I called Jessica, my maid of honor. Jess, I need to ask you something, and I need you to be honest. Of course. Did Sarah say anything to you about her dress before the wedding? A long pause. Emma? Please, just tell me. She called me 2 days before. She said she'd bought this amazing dress and wanted to make sure it didn't clash with the bridesmaids' colors. She described it, and I told her it sounded like a wedding dress. She laughed and said, you'd be fine with it because, quote, Emma never minds when I outshine her. I felt sick. Why didn't you tell me? I should have. I thought about it, but I didn't want to cause drama before your wedding. I figured she'd come to her senses. After I hung up, I realized this wasn't just about the dress. This was a pattern. Sarah had worn white to my high school graduation party. Sarah had announced her engagement at my college graduation dinner. Sarah had brought a date to my birthday party and spent the entire night talking about their upcoming vacation. Every single milestone of my life, Sarah had found a way to make it about her. But this time, she'd gone too far. I spent the next 2 weeks gathering evidence, screenshots, text messages, emails with vendors, even the contract with my photographer where Sarah had pretended to be my maid of honor. Then I did something Sarah never expected. I posted my own Instagram story. It was simple. A side-by-side photo, me in my wedding dress and Sarah in hers. The caption read, when your sister wears a wedding dress to your wedding, then text your mom that you need to learn you're not the center of the universe on your own wedding day. Screenshots in my stories. I posted every single text message, every manipulation, every lie. Within 6 hours, it had been shared 500 times. The comments were brutal. This is sociopathic behavior. Your sister is unhinged. Your mom enabled this. Cut them both off. Sarah's dress is literally from David's bridal's wedding collection. That last comment made me laugh despite everything. Someone had done the research. My phone started ringing immediately. First, my mother. Emma, take that post down right now. You're embarrassing the family. I'm embarrassing the family? Mom, Sarah wore a wedding dress to my wedding. You're being vindictive. This isn't who you are. You're right. The old Emma would have stayed quiet, but the old Emma also wouldn't have had her wedding sabotaged by her own sister. I hung up. Next, my father. Emma, your mother is crying. Please delete the post. Dad, did you know Sarah planned this? Silence. Dad? Your mother said Sarah just wanted to look nice. She wore a wedding dress, Dad. She manipulated my photographer. She told Mom I needed to learn I wasn't the center of the universe on my own wedding day. Another long silence. I didn't know about the texts, he said quietly. But you knew about the dress? Yes. And you let her? I thought you'd handle it gracefully. Handle my sister trying to upstage me at my own wedding gracefully? Emma? I hung up. Then came the call I was waiting for. Sarah. You vindictive little bitch, she started without preamble. Do you have any idea what you've done? Told the truth? You've ruined my life. People are calling me at work, posting on my social media. My boss saw your post. I'm humiliated. Now you know how I felt at my own wedding. It was just a dress, Emma. No, Sarah, it was a calculated plan to humiliate me on the most important day of my life. I have the texts to prove it. Those were private. So was my wedding, but you made sure that wasn't about me either. She started crying. Real tears, not the crocodile tears she'd used since childhood. Emma, I'm sorry. I didn't mean for it to go this far. I wanted to feel special. At my expense. Yes, she whispered. At your expense. It was the first honest thing she'd said to me in years. My engagement is broken, she continued. Mark saw the post. He said he can't marry someone who would do that to their own sister. I felt a flicker of guilt, then remembered the wedding dress, the texts, the photographer, the dance with Dad. Sarah, that's not my fault. That's the consequence of your choices. Please take the post down, please. I'll do anything. No. Emma, you wanted everyone to know who the real star of this family is. Congratulations. Now they do. I hung up. That was 3 weeks ago. Today, 3 hours ago, Sarah called again. This time, her voice was different, smaller. Emma, I need to tell you something about the dress. What about it? I didn't just buy it. I had it made. My blood went cold. What do you mean? I took photos of your dress when you showed me the design, when you were so excited about grandmother's dress. I took pictures. I had a seamstress make one just like it, but newer, shinier. I couldn't breathe. You copied my grandmother's dress? I wanted to look better than you. I wanted to prove that anything you could do, I could do better. Even being a bride. The room was spinning. But Emma, that's not all. What else? The photographer. I didn't just tell him I was the maid of honor. I told him you wanted me to have the spotlight for some shots because you felt guilty that I wasn't married yet. You what? I told him you specifically requested that he make sure to get photos of me looking beautiful because you wanted to help my confidence. I was going to be sick. Emma, I ruined your wedding on purpose. Every single detail was planned. The speech, the dance with Dad, the dress, the photographer, even where I sat during the ceremony. I studied your timeline and found ways to insert myself into every moment. Why? I whispered. Because I've always been jealous of you. Jealous of me? Sarah, you're the pretty one, the popular one, the one who got all the attention growing up. No, Emma, you're the one Mom and Dad actually respect. You're the one with the career, the stable relationship, the real life. I'm 30 years old, and I've never had anything that wasn't handed to me or taken from someone else. I sat down on my kitchen floor, phone pressed to my ear. I sabotaged your wedding because I wanted to feel like I was better than you at something, even if it was just for one day. But seeing everyone's reaction to your post, seeing what Mark thought of me. Emma, I'm not a good person. No, I said quietly. You're not. I know you'll probably never forgive me, but I need you to know that I'm sorry, really, truly sorry. Not because I got caught, but because I finally understand what I took from you. What did you take from me, Sarah? Your joy, your day, your family support, your trust, everything. She was crying again, but this time it sounded real. Emma, I'm going to therapy. I'm moving to Denver for a fresh start. I'm going to try to become someone worthy of your forgiveness, even if it takes years. I closed my eyes. Sarah? Yeah? Don't call me again until you actually are that person. Okay. And Sarah? Yeah? That dress you copied? It wasn't just our grandmother's dress, it was our great-grandmother's too. She wore it in 1952 when she married our great-grandfather after he came back from Korea. Grandmother wore it in 1978. I was supposed to pass it down to my daughter someday. Silence. You didn't just copy a dress, Sarah. You stole a family legacy. Emma, Goodbye, Sarah. I hung up. Jake found me on the kitchen floor an hour later, still holding the phone. What happened? He asked, sitting beside me. I told him everything. What are you going to do? He asked. I don't know. Part of me feels sorry for her, but part of me thinks this might be exactly what she needed to hear. The truth about who she really is. And what about your family? Your parents? I looked at my phone. 17 missed calls from my mother. 12 from my father. I think they're finally realizing that they enabled her for so long, they forgot I was their daughter too. Jake took my hand. I need to tell you something. What? At our wedding, when I was standing at the altar waiting for you to walk down the aisle, I wasn't looking at Sarah in her dress. I was looking at the guests' faces when they saw you. What do you mean? Everyone knew. The moment you stepped out of that garden house, everyone in that place knew who the real bride was, not because of the dress, but because of the way you carried yourself, the way you glowed. Sarah could have worn 10 wedding dresses and she still wouldn't have been you. I started crying again, but this time they were good tears. That day was about us, Em. She might have tried to steal it, but she couldn't. Because our love, our vows, our future, that's not something anyone can take. He was right. I still haven't decided whether to take down the Instagram post. Part of me thinks Sarah deserves the consequences. Part of me thinks she's learned her lesson. But I have decided something else. I'm not going to let what Sarah did define my marriage or my relationship with my family. She made her choices. Now I get to make mine. Tomorrow, Jake and I are going to renew our vows, just us, our closest friends, and a photographer who actually works for us, not my sister. And this time, I'm wearing my great-grandmother's original dress, the real one, the one Sarah never got to see, because some things are too precious to share with people who don't understand their value. Have you ever had someone try to steal your moment? Someone who was supposed to love and support you but chose to compete instead? Drop your story in the comments below. I read every single one. And if you want to hear more real family drama stories like this, don't forget to subscribe. Because sometimes the people who are supposed to celebrate with you are the ones trying to sabotage you. Remember, your joy belongs to you. Don't let anyone steal it.